Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody out in social media land, TV land, YouTube land. Welcome to Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. I'm Ray Amanat, based out of sunny Port Richey, Florida, and my co host, Mr. Steve Reed, is somewhere in northern Texas trying to keep all the hordes of illegals coming across the border from pooping in his backyard. I don't know.
Well,
Steve?
actually, Ray, today I'm recovering from the inclement weather we had yesterday morning. We had circulation, we'll say, literally camping out above our house for about 10 to 15 minutes yesterday morning.
I think that's headed our way because we're supposed to get some heavy thunderstorms
Yeah, this was
here in
this was
Florida. So,
a little
so thanks,
frightening.
buddy.
What can I say? So, I mean, it was rather intense at times. So we started hearing the sirens and so forth going off. I don't know, 9:30, something like that yesterday morning, and wife is okay. We gotta get into the bathroom, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. So anyway, so we hunkered down for about 20 minutes or so. So
Well, I'm glad you're safe and your house
yeah,
is intact, and
yes.
um, hopefully not a lot of damage to other neighboring towns or communities
Well,
in the
we
Texas area.
there was nothing that touched down here. Now, what it was east of us, I don't know, but there was nothing that physically touched down. It's just circulation. I don't know, 1,000 feet up, 2,000 feet, whatever. But the weather guy that we listened to he was watching every single thing, and he's telling us this cross streets and so forth. So shout out to Ray Ponder with POW Weather. He's a local guy. Just like you have Mike's Weather Channel, we have POW, POW Weather, Ponder on Weather. So it's pretty cool.
You want to let all of our viewers kind of hear our disclaimer about what this show is all about?
Well, why don't I just put something across the screen here for a second? Let's see if I can put a disclaimer up here. So, this is our disclaimer. This is an opinion based program, and it does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of our guests, affiliates, sponsors, anybody else. But since Ray, you and I are factually accurate all the time, and our opinions are right, and then it is a truth-based program, so nobody else's opinions matter. How's that?
So, and taboo talk, it's exactly what it is. We're going to talk about topics that are controversial to all walks of life, whether you're left, right, black, white, gay, straight. We'll talk about all these different topics. Today's topic is we may piss people off. We may make people laugh. But it's to me about all the different blunders that we have seen this administration do. Everyone, when President Trump was in office, was going after him, saying, "You lied, people died," and said everything that was not factual and has been proven wrong.
Yep, 100%.
And here, people of the Joe Biden administration, they've lied,
Yeah.
and people have actually died
Yep.
because of their lies. You look at Afghanistan and the withdrawal and everything else, and they have been proven to be liars, to be deceitful to the American population, and we're going to dive into that. But first, I have my own Joe with me. You've got Joe Biden, the president, and I have my friend Joe Cool that's going to be joining us. What's up? Now, I am not a ventriloquist, so if you see my mouth moving when Joe talks, uh, um, please don't sniff me like Joe Biden.
Oh, mercy. Yeah, it's going to be a long show today.
So this is Joe Cool. He'll be jumping in and out of the show, weighing in on
It's
all
good.
the things that we talk about, right?
That's good.
Maybe. All right, Joe, go take a nap. Like you always do. Joe does so much better with his administration when he takes those naps.
Oh, there's no
And
question there. There is no question.
so, where do we begin with this blundering, babbling Biden administration?
Well,
And we might get kicked off of Facebook for all this, but who knows?
Russia, 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 Russia was the theme song for the left all during the Trump administration, and it's still the theme song for them. I mean, that's just the way they are. But as it turns out, Russia, Russia, Russia really was Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. In fact, Hunter Biden, and it has been proven, it
Right.
is
The
documented.
laptop that comes out was Russia, Russia, Russia misinformation.
Yep, yep. Well,
No.
yeah.
Uh-uh.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate your chiming in. Yeah,
No, it's been proven that that was Hunter's laptop and that there is collusion between Ukraine and other people of influence with Joe Biden's son and Mr. Joe himself.
yeah.
Not
You know,
you, Joe.
one of the things that I don't have the evidence myself personally. I've seen some of it, but the whole Ukraine thing that Hunter was involved with, that Joe was involved with, even today, is nothing more than a money laundering operation. And what they are doing, especially right now, Congress is giving all this money, billions of dollars to Ukraine, and the money is being funneled back into the DNC and
So,
politicians.
Steve, where are you getting all of this information and facts
I'm
from?
just making it up. That's Russian disinformation. That's what it is. No, no. Here I'm going to give you. I'll give you some sources. I'm not going to name or cite specific articles and that sort of thing, but there are people that I follow on a regular basis. Dan Bongino is one. He's a former Secret Service guy. He's got a talk show podcast. He's probably one of the most visible conservatives that's on the planet. He's got a radio program, a podcast, and a talk show or a TV program on Fox News on either Saturday or Sunday night. I don't remember which it is, but I mean he's out there all the time, and he's on. He's got some stuff on YouTube, but he preferences Rumble, and he's working on an alternative place to your shopping and so forth. And but he's coming up with factual information and he's citing specific articles and other people, other pundits that are showing the information. One of the sources that I reference also is an investigative reporter, John Solomon. And John Solomon has been shown to be accurate. He's got a number of books out. I don't have the book titles in front of me, but he has done some exhaustive research. He's a real journalist, other than what we see on MSNBC and ABC and CNN and CBS and so forth. And so he's coming up with the factual stuff. Nothing can be debunked. So those are some of the sources. Epoch Times or Epoch Times, however you want to pronounce it, is another one. Epoch Times in print, online. They also have a TV channel that they do, and I follow a lot of the stuff that they have. Again, all fact-based things that cannot be debunked. Any of these things.
So, I watch Newsmax, I watch One American News, I watch
Yes.
Fox News, and I try to compare it to a lot of the things that you're going to see on NBC, MSNBC, and CNN. And the blatant lies that a lot of the mainstream media does
Yeah.
versus, I think, One American News and Newsmax is a true news-based stations as far
Yes.
as TV
Yes.
broadcasting, and a lot of the information, that they put out there, um, it has to be factual. They wouldn't put it out otherwise.
Right.
How many times have you seen mainstream media backtrack on some of the things that they've reported on? And I've
Yeah.
never seen Fox, well, actually Fox has backtracked on some of what they've said, but Newsmax or One America News, OWN TV, they never backtrack because they don't spew
Yeah.
disinformation like a
Exactly.
lot of these other news organizations.
Yeah.
And for our viewers out there, I know I see Katie on here. If you have any comments that you'd like to make, or you'd like us to talk about during the Biden blunder years, forward us your questions or get involved in the conversation. Let us know.
It's really kind of interesting. You say the Biden blunder years. We don't have enough show time to talk about all
Well, when he was a
the
senator, when he was vice president, and as a current president of our country,
absolutely.
oh my gosh.
Probably one of the most racist presidents we've had after LBJ. But I mean, when you say things like, you have to have a slight Indian accent to work in a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts. I
I am
mean,
not knowing what you're talking about.
how much more racist can you possibly get? If you
Was I
don't
just
vote for me,
racist?
you ain't black. How much more racist can you get? And then you look back at the Trump administration and the fact that under Donald Trump, best president we've had in a long, long time, okay? He had the lowest black and Hispanic unemployment rates that we have ever had, ever recorded in history. But yet they're saying that Trump was a racist. No, far from it. Far from it.
It was all across the board
Yes.
as far as women, um, blacks, Hispanics,
Yeah, exactly.
all across the board. Everyone was doing well
Yep,
economically during the Trump organization.
absolutely.
And now we're pretty much headed towards that recession, that big R word. If the if the Fed keeps raising um,
Right,
the interest
right,
rates, it's we're going
right,
to spiral downwards pretty
right,
fast.
right, right. You bought their lie. I'm sorry. You bought their lie. Up until 6 months ago, everything based on history, we've been in a recession for a year. But the Biden administration, changed the definition of a recession. So we are in a recession right now. I don't care what you say. We are in a recession. We are in double digit inflation.
Hmm.
And, people aren't buying. That's what you call a recession. So Ray, we've talked about some of the prices going up and grocery bills alone
Oh my
going up,
gosh. Yeah.
gasoline prices going up. The price of eggs have doubled in the past 2 years. Tuna fish has doubled in the past couple of years. Those kinds of things, roast beef, ground beef, whatever, all of those things. Groceries are significantly more expensive. Utility costs are significantly more expensive. There's only one person to blame for this. Well, one group of people, and they have a D beside their name. So yes, it is Joe Biden, but I'm sorry if you voted for Joe Biden and any other Democrat, it is your fault. Why were you having sky high double digit inflation?
And I don't understand why there's still a lot of people that are out there that are Democrats that think that Joe Biden is doing a good job and they think he should run again in 2024. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's because they are brainwashed, because they're listening to what's going on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, etc. They're listening to nothing but the left-wing media, the propaganda machine of the DNC. That's who they're listening to, and they're telling the people is that we're not in a recession. The government says we're not in a recession, and people are buying the lies. It's as simple as that, Ray. I don't know how much. Oh, there you go, Joe. What do you think?
Can you guys talk about the Twitter scandal?
Can we talk about the Twitter scandal? Yeah, you know, there is no doubt now. It has been proven, the information is being released that Twitter was instrumental in getting Mr. Biden put in office. Now, why do we say that? Okay, number one, they blacklisted conservatives. They banned a sitting president from being on Twitter. Now, this was after the election.
Right. But they were looking for reasons. Say it, preach. They were looking for reasons uh, to. All right, go take a nap, Joe. They were looking for reasons to ban President Trump, and I think the January 6th was the straw that broke that back, that gave them the ammo to say, okay, he's got to be taken off of Twitter. He's got to be silenced. He's gone too far, type stuff. And now we're seeing between Twitter blacklisting conservatives, let alone President Trump, but the FBI attorney and um, other social medias all pretty much met at the White House on a regular basis
Yeah.
to discuss this, how they can defeat or beat the Trump machine.
Well, they met not only at the White House, but they also had a lot of conference calls, and it has been evidence is coming out. Thank you, Elon Musk. The guy is a genius in a lot of different ways, but he's finally releasing the information and all of the documentation that people like Jack Dorsey and what's his name, Zuckerama or whatever, Mark Zuckerdo, how they had regular conversations with government officials, FBI, CIA, DNC. Well, that's not government. Well, it might as well be government officials. Democrat National Committee, the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice. They all were in collusion with social media. And Elon Musk is releasing all of that information and documentation showing what those conversations were.
So Trump was impeached on collusion charges with Ukraine
Yes,
because of a phone call.
yes,
But here you have uncovered actual collusion
yes.
between social media companies and the government, and crickets. There's nothing. I don't
Yeah.
see any arrests being made. I don't see everyone's finger pointing, trying to throw each other under the bus. But it's why are there not being arrests being made?
Right, right, exactly. We don't have arrests that are being made because of Merrick Garland, who is the Attorney General under Biden. He's a flaming liberal, left wing, radical, radical. So thankful he didn't make it to the Supreme Court. But he is blocking every single bit of it.
And you and I talked earlier about the incoming Speaker of the House
Yes,
and what he is going to do once he's in office, if he makes it through. I mean, you've got some Republicans that are going to try to go up against him, but if he makes it through, what was it that you said earlier, that he's got over 51 subpoenas?
yeah, he's got 51 subpoenas that are ready to be released almost immediately. Now, what are these 51 subpoenas? These are subpoenas for people that are former intelligence people under Barack Obama and others. and they all signed off saying that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation, and that's they all lied. And so Kevin McCarthy is vowing to subpoena every single one of them to come before Congress to be interrogated.
And I hope he is a man of his word and follows through.
Yes,
And I hope he has the support of the Republican Party to
yeah,
back him.
absolutely, absolutely. So, and I hope that right now you can give us some insights into Heroes in Action. In fact, maybe I will just share a little video that tells people a little bit about Heroes in Action.
Hi, welcome to Heroes in Action. I'm Ray Amanat, founder and creator of this training system. I originally made it so that everyone can train for free. We have programs for kids, for women, families, and businesses. I'm an author, speaker, and educator on everything that has to do with violence and bullying prevention education. If you'd like more information about who we are and what our programs are, please go to our website at heroesinaction.us or give me a call if you have any questions at 727-314-2534. We hope to see you here to train.
I'm so glad you brought Joe today. So, is Joe involved in your training program as well?
Yes, Joe is. I originally got Joe a long time ago from Silver Dollar City, of all places. And when I worked with kids that were really, really young, that were shy,
Hmm.
I would use Joe as a way to break the ice
Oh, that's
and
cool.
get them to open up and talk and feel more comfortable around me. So Joe has always been a way to connect with younger kids to get them to feel comfortable and safe, and then the kids will get to play with Joe, and then we'd move forward with the lesson plan. So I use Joe for children with special needs or special cases where you have a child that severely introvert and needs help coming out for whatever reason that they are. So Joe's a big asset for me when I'm working with kids.
Very cool. Very cool. And speaking of special needs, we could use that in the White House right now. But Ray, you've got a big event coming up right around the corner.
Yeah,
So,
we have a self-defense event that is free to the public. So if you're anywhere near Port Richey, Florida, it's going to be this Saturday, December 17th, from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock Eastern time, of course. And it's for families, kids ages 7 on up. What we do is we work with people on knowing what their role is, what to say, how to get attention, how to get help, and worst case scenario, what to do to get away from the bad guy.
very cool.
So that'll be this Saturday again.
Very cool. But my understanding is you can train not only in Port Richey, Florida, but you can also train on the high seas.
Yes, we have our annual fundraising cruise. We've partnered with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. That it's going to be June 8th through the 12th, where we leave out of Tampa, Florida, and go to Cozumel and back. So it's 5 day, 4 nights. On the way down, one of the days you'll get 3 hours of self-defense training with me, as well as on the way back you'll get 3 additional hours. So a total of 6 hours. We've got 20 cabins, 20 or 25 cabins that have been reserved. You can reserve your cabin for just $100 now, and then pay for the rest of the cruise by March 1st. and then we'll see you on the ship in June. So this would be a nice gift for Christmas, an anniversary. Those of you that want to just take the cruise but don't really care about doing the self-defense, just support Heroes in Action by taking a cruise, and let's go on a vacation together.
Very cool.
Hopefully you're healthy enough to where you can we can do a taboo talk introduction to
That would be
everybody
fun.
attending the cruise.
That would be fun. So, right, that sounds like that's going to be an exciting time. So, what are some of the things people are going to learn?
Well, one, have an exit strategy. Pay attention to what everything that's going around you. Two, have a plan of action. And that plan of action includes learning the weak areas of the body, learning how to get out of specific holds, and then learning how to use improvised tools as weapons to be able to ambush somebody if you're in an active shooter situation where you would run, hide, and then if you need to ambush the person to keep yourself and your loved ones safe.
Very cool. So, people can go to your website
Yes.
to sign up for the cruise. And my understanding is you're also doing other kinds of fundraising, and you've got this cute little QR code. Tell us about your fundraising, your
So
ongoing
our
fundraising.
goal, in order for us to continue offering all of our programs for free to the public, our goal is to get at least 4,000 donors making a recurring donation of only $5 a month. Now you can do greater than if that's within your budget. But if we had 4,000 people donating $5 a month, that enables us to literally go anywhere in the country, offer all of our programs for free, all of our handouts, the books that I've written. Everything would be given away: t-shirts, capes for kiddos. We don't want to charge a dime. Right now, we have to charge some because we don't have enough donation money or revenue coming in. The more donors we get, the less we charge, and until we get to a point where we don't need to charge at all. We just give everything away.
Very cool.
Right now, everything's been out of my own pocket,
Yep.
and that pocket is not that big anymore. It's getting smaller, so we need your help with donations
Yep.
for us to continue providing our services for free.
So people can scan the QR code and donate right there.
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool. So you help people with their physical self-defense. So thankfully we have a court system that can help us with our political self-defense. And I want to shift gears on just very briefly on something that you and I did not talk about. I just heard something recently that there is a case that is pending before the Supreme Court. They haven't decided whether they are going to hear the case or not, but it's supposed to be decided if they're going to hear it sometime in early January. And here's the foundation of the case. There's some people out on the West Coast. I don't remember where they are. I think they're in Utah, but they have filed a lawsuit that is being pushed all the way up to the Supreme Court that is basically charging. I don't remember exactly who it is, but they're saying that the 2020 election was a fraudulent election, but they're not going at things from the way most people are going at it. Most people are saying, well, there was mail fraud, or there was ballot stuffing, or social media things, or whatever, those kinds of things. These guys are filing a suit that is very different, and what they are saying is that Congress had the fiduciary obligation to look at all of the claims that it was a fraudulent election. And because they refused to look at those claims, they violated their oath of office. And the lawsuit, if the Supreme Court takes the case, number one, and if the Supreme Court rules in favor of the plaintiffs, that means over 500 congressmen and women are going to be kicked out of office to never be able to run for office and hold any kind of office ever again. That includes the president, vice president, and all of their underlings. It also includes former Vice President Mike Pence, because all of them had the opportunity to evaluate whether or not the election was fraudulent, but they chose not to.
Wow.
Yeah, I just heard that one a couple days ago.
Um, I mean, realistically, I don't know if it's going to happen. I hope it happens.
Wouldn't that be
There's,
sweet?
there's no better way of draining the swamp.
Yep.
A lot of times people say when you get elected office and you go to Washington, D.C., that you lose your soul because everyone figures out a way to find out what makes you tick.
Exactly.
The lobbyists are going to throw money at you. They're going to
Yep.
really give you a lavish lifestyle that the power goes to your head.
Yeah, exactly.
And next thing you know, you're doing favors for people. And part of me myself, I said I'd want to run for office, but I don't know if I'd want to be indoctrinated into that way of thinking to where I lose my soul.
Yeah.
I would want to go take care of the problems, and when the term is up, I'm out. Reinforce term limits.
Yep. Apparently, there were 100 Republicans that said it needs to be investigated. We need to evaluate all of the claims of voter fraud. It needs to be investigated. But on January 6th, they chose not to. They chose instead to certify the election, and they had the fiduciary obligation as per the oath of office that they are supposed to defend the Constitution. Okay? And that's the thing. That's the whole premise of this thing, that they were not defending the Constitution.
So when you're talking about June 6th,
January.
or January 6th, where Nancy Pelosi had all the information, Donald Trump had said, "Look, I can send National Guard out there and protect it," but they refused it, and then it's already been proven or talked about that they the Capitol Police didn't have as many people there as they needed to or as they should have to accommodate the needs with the potential threats that they had already heard about. And I think it was all, this is the conspiracy theory, I think it was all staged.
It was.
And, I hope more comes out once the Republicans take over the House and there's more investigations. And you're going to see more and more of this.
Yes.
The lies that people have been spewing. And people that you and I have gotten into arguments, it's going to be one of those, we told you so, we told you so. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy because we've had so many people with emotional energy where they're actually getting mad. You're wrong, we're right. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Let's do an investigation. Let's do it the right way and see what happens. If after the investigation they don't find anything, I will be happy to say I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things also, going back to January 6th, I'm starting to hear little bits and pieces. I don't have anything to substantiate yet. It's coming. But this was an inside operation that was planned by the FBI up to a year prior to the event. So they were planning on something. And when you look back at the summer of 2020 and Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all of the corruption that was going on there, Antifa was very heavily involved in the January 6th issue. Everything that was
Right.
going on there. It was not conservatives. Conservatives were going in and they're just, wow, somebody told us to go into the Capitol. Okay, they opened the doors for us. Let's go in. We've never
There's
been in the Capitol.
there's video footage of Antifa putting on Trump hoodies or sweatshirts or putting on Trump hats
Yeah.
and posing as Trump supporters, breaking down the walls or the barriers or whatever else to get into the Capitol. So,
It's insane.
I wish more of that video footage was made available
It
to
will be.
where people can see, holy cow, this is, I mean, there's
Yep.
the evidence right there. You can't make it up. When you have people saying, nothing to see here, don't watch us changing clothes. We're Trump supporters. We're just putting on our Trump stuff.
Exactly.
But, they were wearing clothing that was resembled Antifa
Yep.
outerwear, wearing the black clothing, the backpacks and everything else. So it's ridiculous.
Well, and the sad thing is all of the cover up that's been going on by organizations like Facebook and Google and YouTube, Twitter, etc. They are all keeping everything so that you can't see it. Nancy Pelosi has been hiding 14,000 hours of video footage. Why can't we see the video footage? Now, I don't have time to watch 14,000 hours, but hopefully when Republicans take control in just a couple of weeks, hopefully they will start showing and exposing some of this information so that we can see what the truth is. But Nancy Pelosi and Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger and the other leftists, that anti-Trumpers, they are trying to keep us from hearing what the truth is.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem that I have. I'm an adult. I'm a big boy. I can think for myself. Give me the truth. Give me the whole picture. Allow me to make the decision for myself. Don't tell me what I'm supposed to think.
Right.
But that's a typical leftist, Nazi, fascist mindset. We can't possibly tell them the truth because when they hear the truth, they'll be against us. And that's what's going on.
Another blunder that was in the news that I think it's a couple of them. One, Biden trading a terrorist for a basketball player, as opposed to negotiating and bringing both the soldier and the basketball player back home. I think Biden needs to read the book Art of the Deal in order to make better deals.
Okay.
And the other, Biden goes to the border town, but doesn't go to the border.
Yeah.
He goes to a fundraising meeting because he says, well, this is going to raise billions of dollars for, I forget how he phrased it, for new technology or whatever. He didn't say what it was. He just says it's going to raise billions of dollars and create jobs, as opposed to let's go to the border and look at all the illegals, look at the fentanyl, look at the people that are dying because of the fentanyl, look at the trafficking that's going on. Yeah. And you have bipartisan, both Democrats and Republicans at the border saying, President Biden, come down here and look at what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's going to ruin our country.
Well, one of the things that the president does is they swear an oath to defend the Constitution, but to protect the country. And part of protecting the country is defending our borders. And so here are a couple of things. Number one, every death that takes place because of fentanyl that came across the border, Joe Biden is responsible for. Right. He is not upholding his responsibility to defend the border. Okay? Every person that is murdered because of an illegal alien, that is on Joe Biden's shoulders. The soldiers that were killed in Afghanistan because of the way Biden, escaped
Withdrew,
Afghanistan.
right?
Okay? Every single person that has died as a result of the way that was done, that's on Biden's shoulders. Now, with this terrorist being exchanged for an American hating basketball player. Hello? An American hating basketball player. Now, if that terrorist kills one American, soldier, civilian, whatever the case is, that is on Joe Biden's shoulders, and Joe Biden should be impeached and actually arrested for what he has done.
Let's take that a step further with me being the safety guy. Those of you that are watching this show or listening to this show, if you take a vacation going outside of the United States, any country, with you having an American passport, guess what? You're going to have a target on your back, because they now know that, well, if we can hold Americans prisoners, then we can negotiate and release other insane criminals that hate America.
Exactly.
So it's going to make it a lot more dangerous for Americans to travel to other countries in the world on vacations. There's going to be safety concerns, and if anything happens to Americans, again, that's on Joe Biden's hand. Well, he's enabling people to want to kidnap or abduct Americans in foreign countries.
Ray, when you turn the clock back, Obama did the exact same thing with Gitmo and released some terrorists from Gitmo. And what happened? They immediately went back onto the battlefield, resumed what they had been doing, and started killing Americans again. And Obama should be imprisoned for doing that, okay? Because that was against our homeland defense. So, no justice. They're not in it for us. They're in it for themselves and what's going to happen to them.
Well, let's talk about something that isn't about us. It's about how we can help people live a happier, healthier life.
What an absolutely genius idea, Ray. I just happen to have a short video that can talk about people getting more healthy. Why don't I share that video?
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells, a true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. No drugs, no injections, no kidding.
Right, I got to share a couple more slides about this amazing product. It is a little wafer thin patch. You wear the patch, you can see it here. It's a little tiny wafer thin patch. You wear it on your body, any place on your body, and it tells your stem cells to go back to work. But what are some of the other benefits? Well, I love this little slide here. I finally figured out what I want to get when I get older, or what I want to be when I get older. I want to be younger. And that's exactly what stem cells do. They turn the aging clock backwards for us.
So how many of our viewers, and you guys can chime in on Facebook, just go to Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. How many of you have woken up in the morning with stiff knees, stiff hips, stiff hands?
Exactly.
And you walk like Tim Conway on the Carol Burnett show, if you guys remember that, where he's playing the old man. You can barely walk. I've been that guy, and the X39 patch has helped me have the energy and be more mobile and have less pain. So
Ray, I am over the hill. I'm in my 60s, and it used to be that on a regular occurrence, mid-afternoon, 2-3 o'clock, I'd hit a wall and I'd take a little nap. I don't remember the last time I've taken a nap since I started using these patches. Now, for you, unfortunately, I can't right now, but sports, exercise, etc. You've got better sports performance. You're going to get better sleep. I sleep incredibly well now that I'm using the X39 patch. Dramatic pain relief. I had major surgery a little over a month ago. Instead of being on opioids and drugs of any sort for 2 3 weeks afterwards, I was able to get off the pain meds within 3 days. And that's all because of these stem cell patches. Rapid wound healing or faster wound healing, wrinkle reduction. I had somebody not too long ago said, Steve, you look younger. Well, that's because I'm using the X39 patches, and scars heal up much, much faster. So these are just a few of the benefits that you get with this cute little patch. It is absolutely amazing. I'm wearing the patches right now. I don't know that I've got the patches on, other than this morning when I got up, I put a patch on the back of my head and back of my neck, and it's doing its thing. So it's a pretty amazing technology. I feel younger. I feel more healthy. I feel more active. No pain. Just I feel great. The aging clock is being turned backwards, and that's the fun thing. So if you're feeling old, well, we need to have a conversation. So let me put my email address up here. So if you want some more information, I am happy to get in touch
As we
with you.
say in the networking industry, set up a one-to-one
There you go.
free consultation with Mr. Steve Reed, and he'll give you all the ins and outs and benefits of not just the X39 patch, but a lot of the other patches that are also available through
Yeah,
this organization.
yeah. It's an amazing company. So anyway, that is what I've got. Here's my website if you want to check out my website. There's all kinds of stuff. And if you want a video, I'll send you a couple of videos on the product and the technology. It's absolutely amazing. So
Let's hope social media doesn't censor us on offering products that actually help people, like
right.
they did with, when we're talking about Fauci and we're talking
Yep.
about COVID and
Yep.
we're talking about the censorship of doctors
Yeah.
that were on Twitter and other social media platforms that actually, because they did not give them a voice and did not
Yeah.
give them the opportunity to let people know, here's some alternative um, uh, things that you could use, whether they're medicines or vitamins or whatever, that can keep you safe. How
Yeah.
many people possibly died or could have gotten help?
Yep.
That's more blood on, I think,
Yeah.
this administration's
Well,
hands.
but instead of that, they are pushing injections today, and there are tens of thousands of people that are developing side effects, including death. But myocarditis is one of the big ones, which is a heart issue, and people's hearts are literally collapsing. People are having heart attacks on a very regular basis. There's one broadcast that I listen to, and the host starts almost every show, and he says, there's something, the strangest thing is going on. Here's a 35-year-old athlete that just fell over dead. And the next day, here's a 52-year-old that was in great shape. He was a runner, he was a jogger, and he just fell over and died. And here's another athlete that he's listing these things over and over again. And so much of this is happening as a direct result of some of the things going on with the pokes that people are getting. There was actually, I've not read the article, but there was an article in Epoch Times that I just saw early this morning. I haven't read the article yet, but it's a research document that came out of Heidelberg, Germany, that has the documentation that is proving that these pokes are causing major, major problems. But yet we can't talk about that.
Well, one of the things that I try to tell people, don't go by what I say or by what Steve says. Don't go by what the pundits and all the mainstream media says. Can you hear me?
Listen to what we say.
Well,
Don't
it's
people don't tell people not to pay attention to us.
no. the point I'm trying to make
I
is
know. I know.
do your own
Yes.
research.
Yes.
Ask questions. Don't
Yeah.
be afraid to, people are afraid to ask questions because, well, am I going to look like or sound like a conspiracy theorist? Ask questions, get answers. If you're not getting answers, then dig deeper. You're going to get some answers, and you're going to find yourself probably finding that yes, all of this was lies, all of this was cover-ups, all of
Yeah.
this was
Exactly.
ways to control the directive so that a specific person can get elected
Yeah.
that has a specific narrative on the way, the direction they want this country to go. The Green New Deal, that's a bunch of lies. That's nothing but pork barrel spending, paying people back
Yeah.
monies that the lobbyists that they were proud they got them elected, so now they're kind of paying them back. Again, you could say that's a conspiracy theories. Ask the questions. Go do your own homework. Follow the money trail, follow the paper trail, and when all this gets uncovered, you're gonna be like, well, maybe Ray wasn't such a dummy dum dum after all.
Ray, stop and think about this whole climate change thing. We're in the middle of climate change right now. Okay, there's no question in my mind. Yesterday morning we had tornado watches. That was a climate change. Okay. Today it's, I don't know, 65, 70 degrees here. It's probably 82 degrees there for you. I'm jealous. Anyway, but that's climate change. Okay, it happens all the time. But they say, well, if we don't take care of things, all of the stuff that's going on, then it'll melt the ice caps and the waters will
America
rise.
alone, America, the United States alone cannot solve climate change.
It's
Not when you're enabling other countries like China and India to start up their own coal plants and
eh,
everything else that are not regulated. They're the air that they breathe is killing their people.
right.
You
Uh, uh,
can't you can't fix
right.
climate change unless you get all the world countries
Right.
in working together.
Okay, I'm going to correct you once again. I hate to do this, but on air I have to correct you. You live in a very nice area in Port Richey, Florida. I've been to your apartment. You're very close to the Gulf Coast. If we were really going to deal with climate change and the ice caps were going to melt and so forth, um, your friend, our friend Debbie's apartment would be underwater.
Yeah, so would mine.
Well, but
so
thankfully
so
you're
would so would all the $1 million homes that are out there
exactly,
right on
exactly.
the coastline.
And all the high-rise apartments and office buildings and
Condominiums.
hotels and a former president that just bought a property in Martha's Vineyard right on the coast, it would be underwater. So is climate change real? Yes, it is. We call it seasons. It happens every year. Is one summer warmer than another? Is one winter warmer than? Yeah, sometimes it is.
This is this
Sometimes
is
it's not.
this is where I would say go do your research because
Exactly.
you can look in the Farmer's Almanac and
Yes.
see that
Yeah.
that
That
there
was
was
certain.
record high temperatures 50, 60 years ago.
Yep. 100.
So was it
150
global
years ago.
warming then? Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Okay. Now here's one last thing on climate change. I want you to stop and think about something. Would insurance companies, property and casualty companies, really insure all of these multi-gazillion dollar high-rise hotels if they believe that climate change was something to be concerned about? No, they wouldn't.
Uh, That's a good point. That's a
So,
really good point.
Ray, I hate to say this, but we are at 24 minutes after the hour. We've got a lot more information to cover, but we are out of time. How in the world did this happen?
Well,
We've got too much more to cover.
I know. We've got a few more weeks before the end of the year,
Yep.
and we'd like to do something special for the Christmas holidays for everyone
Yeah.
as well. So stay tuned for that. But to our viewers out there, if you like the content, if you like our banter, and what we bring up, and if there's topics that you'd like us to talk about, let us know. Go to our Facebook page at Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. Go to our YouTube page, subscribe. Send us. You've got Steve's email, my email. It's info at info at Taboo Talk with RayandSteve.com, I believe.
No, it's Ray and Steve. Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve at gmail.com.
Okay. Send us an email if you have questions, concerns. If you would like to be an advertiser on our show, especially when we do get syndicated, we're going to reach a lot more people than we're reaching now. And if you have a goods or a service that you can offer on a national level, let us know. We'd love to have you as an advertiser on our show.
Ray, I got nothing else to say. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Yeah, just all of the above. And with that said, Ray, I think it's same bat channel, and I am so glad that you were able to bring Joe Cool. He added a lot to the program today. So
He's sniffing me again. Cut it out, Joe.
I can see that. Ray, until next week. Have a fabulous week. Be blessed.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.